Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 5 of gaming with Eyetrackers. Specifically, I'm using the Toby Rex dev kit, which is available and cheap. Today, I'm playing Spore, and in a change of pace, I'm going to be using a completely unfiltered input. So that'll also be in combination with the joystick input that I've added, which is just what I mentioned in the previous video, in the Peggle video, where I have an Xbox controller. It's really easy to program for, and I'm using direct input, or X input. And then when I move the joystick, the program suspends, my program suspends taking input from the eye gaze, and just uses the joystick to move the pointer, to move the mouse pointer. I can also hit various buttons on the gamepad and get left and right mouse clicks. So I can hold it down and look and drag. I can just click really quickly, whatever I like. The nice thing about... So you can see that I'm playing Spore here, and I'm in the cell stage, and it's pretty easy to lead the guy around just by looking. And then I can hit one of the buttons on my gamepad, which are pretty easy to hit because it was made for that. And the way Spore works is you left click, and wherever the mouse is pointing, that's where you sort of swim towards. So you can see here I need to hit this green button on the bottom right, and so I use the joystick for that to get that sort of fine control. But for most of this stuff, I'm just looking around and holding the mouse button down, and so you can see the unfiltered input. Now, this is uncalibrated. Last time I calibrated this setup was at work today, which is not only 50 miles away, but a completely different lighting scenario than we're in right now. So we can see me cruising around, and that's about all we really need to see with the cell stage. It works. So here I'll just show you joystick control. So this is joystick control. You can see the thing moving fairly easily, and then I'll switch over to eyes. In a second, you can see it going really quickly. Okay, so this is me sort of hopping forward, cooking show style, to an already established land-roving animal. So you can see that I can look around and left-click on the land pretty easily. Spore doesn't rotate too much if you left-click and drag. However, as I'm going to show you in a sec... Oh, wait, the textures are super low. I'm just going to check that these are all good. You can see here how easy it is for me to deal with menus and stuff, where I can just use the joystick to hit really precise little things like this up arrow or the green button here, with really a minimum of hand usage. I find using this... Okay, so here... I find using this that I really don't use my hands as often as you would think. It's just when I need to hit a really small target. I still don't know why the textures and everything are so awful. My power settings are all correct. I don't know what it is in Spore. So you can see I can click and move around. I'm going to try to use right... Yeah, so this is sort of what I predicted. What I'm doing here is clicking the right mouse button and then trying to look around to point and orient the camera. And since that relies on motion and not the absolute position of the mouse, this math fails. Pretty much actually any first-person game is going to fail in this respect. And it takes very, very careful and judicious mouse movement around the center of the screen to make that not go insanely fast. Then this is just the math of it. What the game developers will do is they'll look at where the mouse is, and then they'll set the position of the mouse to the center of the screen. So then when you move the mouse, you know, in the next frame, the next 16 milliseconds or whatever, they'll look at how far it traveled, and then they'll, you know, rotate the camera in that direction. So the problem that you run into here, and you can just see me left-clicking on some fruit with a little bit of joystick help while I explain this. The problem we run into here is when you've got something like your gaze setting the mouse to very far from the center of the screen every time, the game treats that as very, very fast mouse movement. So it doesn't really work, and it fails us. But fortunately, Spore has a smart camera that kind of follows the dude around, rotates to get around behind him, when you move, or her, really, all the Spore characters are hers, because you're always laying eggs. So we can survive without that. I'm not sure how well this control scheme will work. I wonder what's out in the water. Let's go see what's out in the water. Because I never actually swam out into the ocean. So, hey, that's cool. There's an island. Okay, it's cool. So something I'm doing here is I'm using the joystick to hold the cursor steady. Then I can look around a bit. Okay, that's hilarious. I didn't know that happened. Okay, so we'll hit the little green arrow. See, so about half a second of joystick usage. What I noticed with this hybrid control scheme, and I was using it at work today, was that I could just look near wherever I wanted to click, and then I'd use the joystick to just adjust. And I got really, really used to this very fast. Like, I got this stuff working very early, this morning, and then took it to work and tried it out, and it was honestly better than a regular mouse. It was faster than a regular mouse because my eye can flick across the screen much faster than my hand can move a mouse with any precision, and then I could be more precise than the trackpad on my laptop because the joystick only dodged the mouse around very, very slowly. So the thing that you run into as sort of a repetitive stress injury user, if you can't use your hands, you can't fucking use your hands. And I've been there. I spent years there. And I used a head tracker, I used voice control to enter text, and even to change from window to window. I was using Vista's voice recognition before Vista shipped. I was filing bugs against those guys. But there's actually some fun screen reader bugs related to the voice recognition where they would treat PT, which if you're a graphics person or a print person, you know stands for point. They would treat that as platinum because PT is the, it's the periodic table of the elements abbreviation for platinum. But other things like AU and AG and PB, they wouldn't read those out as gold, silver, and lead, so it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, they didn't fix that. Shipped that way. Back to what I was saying. If your hands are messed up enough that you can't use a mouse, you might not be able to hold a gamepad. So this control scheme may not be for you. But it worked for me. And with... Oh man, these guys are fuckers. So they're just going to kill me, and that's going to be the end of the video. But yeah, thanks for watching. Spore's playable.